Alrighty. So, I guess because I might make a video out of this, why don't you let everybody know who you are and what you do?
Hey everyone, my name is Marvellous, and I'm a Laravel developer for like 4 years now. I've been programming for 7 years, which is quite a lot considering that I'm like 20 years old.
Nice,
I'm
nice.
still
You started
20, getting
early.
like 13, and I like stuck with it.
Nice.
Laravel is helping me to pay my tuition, which is a big,
Really
yeah.
nice. That's cool. That's cool. Is it through like a scholarship or through like?
Oh no, I have a dev job.
Oh, nice. So I guess we can get started. So I installed PHP earlier. It's PHP 8.3, I believe, which was
Yes.
I think the latest stable. And I got Composer installed, and I did set up a test Laravel project and got it to start. So that's about
So
as far as I got.
would you like to like learn, or would you like to like learn the framework, or would you like to learn by building a project?
I'd kind of like to learn by maybe like building something small. And I kind of wanted to maybe like lean on your expertise a little bit as to like what we could
Yeah.
probably build. I'm cool with like an API project. I'm cool with like a to-do app. Anything that makes sense here. So
We could go with Laravel and Livewire. That's like
that's the
it's-
that's the hotness right now.
yes, that's the hotness. Oh, I we could also, I mean, if you want to, I have a project like a ShadCN style project. It's called Artisan UI. I'm just gonna paste it. If you want to, we could probably use that, but I don't think so because it's still like in, it hasn't been released yet. It's still like in pre-release, but
Gotcha.
kind of like Flux and ShadCN.
Okay. Okay. We could probably use that.
Now we can finally start.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So I think we're going to do this in two ways. We're going to set up an app without writing any code, which is, I've seen that like a couple of places. And then maybe we'll go through like the Laravel directory structure
Okay.
to know what everything, to know what things do.
Yeah, that'd be
So-
great.
All right. I think you can go to create a new project by saying composer new. I can't write a command. I wouldn't lie. I think it's like new project or something.
Yeah, I think it's over here in the
It's on the
docs.
docs.
Yeah. You only use it once in a blue moon. So
Yeah, it's like new project.
I think it's I saw it earlier today.
Getting started, creating a new Laravel
there we go.
project. Yes.
This guy.
Composer, create project. Yeah, that.
This one. Do. Perfect. Okay, and then what do we want to call it? Does it matter? Do you care?
Maybe we could do like a simple CRUD app, like a blog, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
Simple
just
blog.
want to do a to-do. that
could-
makes no sense.
My fabulous
Project.
Yeah, we'll just say project.
We haven't decided what this
Nope.
project is going to be.
We'll just say it'll be a combined to-do and blog app. This will be innovative. It'll be really, really revolutionary.
Or a to-do for managing blogs.
Yeah, something like that. So it took a minute to think before for this.
Yeah, I don't know why this takes time on your computer. That is weird. Ooh, that is interesting.
There's
I've
nothing.
never seen. How's the internet like there? Okay, that's better.
Yeah. I get about 80 megabit down. I don't have the best internet, but it is fiber, so.
Okay. So we could start by adding auth. So in Laravel world, we have like lots of auth options depending on what you want to do. So we have, my favorite is Jetstream because it comes with a bunch of stuff like to two-factor authentication and Teams.
Just
So if you go to
all built in.
all built in, it blows my mind every time. So if you go to like the Laravel docs, you can go to the packages and Jetstream.
Okay, packages.
Jetstream
there.
So we have two options. Jetstream is like batteries included, everything with Teams, and they even give us some components for free, so we could use that for now. So you could start with the Livewire plus Blade version of Jetstream. So you can go to installation and copy the installation command, which would just be Composer. So those three.
So this one right here, we did the one above.
Yes,
already?
We've done that already. You might have to CD into the example app.
Yep.
It's weird when I'm saying it. I typically just like type without thinking.
Or copy paste, right?
Yeah, copy paste. Weird thinking about it. So Jetstream is we also have the headless version of Jetstream, which is like Fortify. That is what is actually powering all this. So it's if you want to like build your own views and all that, you use Fortify. So it comes with can I remember correctly? It comes with a bunch of stuff. It's a lot.
Okay.
Like Laravel is like a batteries included framework, opinionated but configurable. So it gives you a lot out of the box. Like you get Teams, you get email reset, you get password reset. You get email verification and a bunch of stuff that the framework does.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. I'm normally I've done quite a bit in like the C# world and the Go world, and C# has some of those batteries included nature, but like you don't get like password reset stuff with it. You maybe get like integration with like Azure AD or like OAuth providers or something, but like you're still implementing like email flows and stuff like that yourself for the most part. So that's pretty cool that Laravel includes all that.
Oh, this is Livewire. Laravel includes a whole lot more. Laravel includes caching and Eloquent ORM, which is a really nice ORM, and Laravel also includes like rate limiters and process facade. Like we do things with facades. So the Laravel docs, if you go to digging deeper in the Laravel docs, see like a bunch of stuff that it does. It's a lot. Laravel is a crazy framework. And then the first party packages, like Socialite helps, like you can add like any social login with Socialite. So Discord, GitHub, you don't need to think about that. You can run your own OAuth server, like authentication server, which I actually did in my first job.
Nice.
With Laravel Passport. I knew nothing about OAuth.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
I knew absolutely nothing about OAuth, but I just like used Laravel Passport, and I got an OAuth server now. And
nice.
We had it was a weird application where we had to we had like 3 applications that had to like one user base, 3 applications that had to talk to each other with like it's weird. It's a weird application, but it worked.
I remember at work we still have it barely around, but it still exists. But we did our own OAuth server, and it's like .NET identity server, and it was wonderful because it was like a product that was open source but going paid. So anytime you asked the dev anything on like GitHub issues or something, or needed something fixed, he was like, "Oh, that'll require an enterprise subscription." And so we were just like, "We can't afford your enterprise subscription." So it was just like, it was a nightmare, and it was all opaque, and it was hard to debug, and it was crazy, but we got it to work. It's just a painful journey.
All right, so I think we should finish setting Jetstream up, and then we'll talk about application structure.
Yep, so what do I need to do now?
You need to go copy paste more commands.
Sounds good.
We are installing the livewire. Do you want it with Teams? Let's go crazy and add Teams.
So
let's just go crazy.
This one?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
Then we could. I think the next command is always migrate. Do you know what inertia is?
No, I don't. I'm a noob. So
inertia is like an API. I wouldn't call it an. It's just like Livewire. Oh God, I don't want to lie. It helps with like gluing the backend and the front end of like an SPA and Laravel or anything. So like they have inertial adapters for every modern framework, and they have the inertial backend adapters. So it's like I really haven't worked that much with inertia, but it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's, by what I've heard, it's really good, and I should try it sometime.
Is it like the piece where it can handle like partial SSR, like rendering of like other like SPA frameworks? So like for example, like React server components where you're taking part of the page and rendering it on the server, and then just changing.
I think Inertia does that. I'm not sure Inertia does. I don't want to lie, and I gotta check. I'm more of a Livewire person.
Yeah.
Either I use Pure View and something, maybe like an API or like Livewire, but both my jobs require Livewire, so I'm more of a Livewire person.
Yeah.
I've gotten so good at Livewire that it's crazy.
I've heard that that's the kind of the way to go. Like it's more like the HTMX sort of a route where you can swap out parts of the page and handle forms and stuff like that. So
yeah, writing with Livewire is so easy. So it just feels like you're writing PHP code, and then it just works. Then sometimes like we drop in Alpine.js, well, because Livewire already includes Alpine.js. So for small front-end reactivity, we use Alpine and Livewire. So it's like you tend to build crazy stuff. You could. Do I have any? No, I don't. No, everything I like. What I'm working on currently is behind an NDA, so I can show you as an example. But if you can go to I think the only Livewire project. No, I have two, but you can go to x-aui.com. So that's the UI library. So, and this was built with Livewire. Well, it was built in an interesting way, but it was built with Livewire.
It's a nice looking doc site. I like it.
Yeah. It's meant to mimic ShadCN. So this was, and it has this SPA feel.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's doing the same sort of stuff as HTMX, isn't it? It's like swapping out just the parts that need to be updated, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes it feel like a SPA, but it's SSR. It works like anything else, and it's all indexable by Google too, right?
Yes, and that, my friend, Livewire now.
Cool.
we're gonna get into that, and you'll see why everyone loves Livewire. Or install with inertia. So we've done that. We've done all this. So we have to go to the next command.
We don't need inertia, right?
No, we are using Livewire. So.
Okay.
Oh no, we forgot to get dark mode, but that's fine.
I've got Dark Reader. It's fine.
This is one of the things that I stumble across, and I run that command at first, and it pisses me off, and I'm, oh no, there's no dark mode.
You can't add it after the fact easily.
You gotta get rid of all the files that it added.
Oh.
Oh geez. But it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think we don't need dark mode. We don't need to support dark mode yet. So now we will just run npm install, npm run build, and migrate.
Okay. And migrate runs the DB migrations in SQLite, correct?
Yes.
Oh, it's asking me if I want to run the.
Yeah, you can. Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Thank just for that. Laravel prompts. You can build like CLI apps. like pretty CLI apps with Laravel prompts.
It seems fast too. Like I'm kind of surprised at like the speed of the CLIs. Like Node feels a lot slower sometimes.
Ooh. So our CLI tool is PHP Artisan Inspire, so you can try typing that for like a code. So we do everything with PHP Artisan. So PHP space Artisan. And we get a bunch of commands, which also, this is another really nice part of Laravel. Get a bunch of stuff it's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Just all out of the box.
All out of the box.
Oh,
what?
Is that docs offline docs?
Yeah, I think there are docs offline. There are offline docs.
That's sweet. Cool.
So it gives you everything. So, and that's why Laravel is always trending.
Yep. Everybody I've heard says they love it. So.
Oh, it's so good.
What's our next step?
So, have you run the npm install and run build?
Yep.
So now I think. Are you running? I think we need to. So, are you using like herd, or are you just running like locally?
I'm just running locally right now.
So you need to like run PHP Artisan serve. I typically I'll put an and behind it to run it as a background process.
What I can actually do is I'm in Tmux, so what I can do is I can do this. And then, so we can open the editor, and then we can open it in the background, and then PHP Artisan serve. And then, so we can go click on that, and then, or we can just do this. And
Congrats.
It's live.
You can register. Let's get an account.
Sweet. Okay. So Ben, I'm gonna blank out because I don't want to show my email on stream.
You can just use test.example. That's what everyone does.
Okay. Okay.
Test.example.com.
I think my autocomplete just doxed me, so that's neat.
I didn't see anything. Yeah, I do a lot of this when I'm at work, and it's geez.
Yeah, what the heck? Save the entry. Oh no, let's.
All right. So you get get a mini dashboard. So you get everything here. Profile management. You don't need to zoom in. That makes it weird. You get profile management. So if you go to Ben at the top, you can like manage your profile, which is nice.
Cool.
Get two-factor authentication.
Reset my password. Cool.
Oh yeah, you get session management also.
Sweet. There's team management. So is that like you can have like multiple like people grouped together essentially?
Yes. It's either you use Jets. I've never really used Jetstream's built-in because I just haven't. I just like have. I've just built things that don't require teams. I've mostly built like applications with like backends and admins. Well, and maybe like restaurants. Like it's never just easy. I never just get to do teams.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's nice for like maybe like for example like Canva or maybe like Flux for example. It's just convenient.
Yeah, this is sweet that you get all this stuff out of box. This is kind of mind blowing, honestly.
You get more. That's what I love about Laravel. You get everything out of the box. At this point, I'm more of like sometimes I'm like, am I a programmer or do I just glue Laravel things to other Laravel things?
Laravel plumbing.
Yeah.
I mean, plumbers make good money, man.
I'm paying tuition with Laravel, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, so now maybe we should talk about the application structure before we try building something.
Yeah.
The directory structure and how things work. So we could use the Laravel docs, so they have like an explanation of the directory, because people always say it's a lot. Yes, it's a lot, and I don't think I care. I don't care about a lot of directories. And like you see Twitter arguments, oh, Laravel has a lot of directories. I'm like, I don't care.
It's not that bad.
It's not. Hey, yo, bro, I don't care about your you criticizing my directories.
Not when you get so much for free. Like
exactly. You should just look at the packages. Like Breeze is an authentication framework. Cashier. Breeze is the simpler like authentication. It publishes the views. Breeze publishes most of the code for it's not bad. Breeze is just simple. I should say it that way. Breeze is simple. You get a lot. You get a lot for free. All the packages. Cashier is for managing Stripe, like payment processes like Stripe, Paddle. You go to packages. Dusk is for APIs. Envoy is like, how do I explain Envoy? Like is it a scheduler? No. So this is for Dusk is the browser automation. Yeah, browser automation like, and API. Yeah.
This is like Selenium or Puppeteer.
Yeah, I think it uses Selenium under the hood.
Ah, okay.
You can swap it out if I'm not mistaken. So Envoy it's a lot. Envoy is for like defining tasks, not scheduler tasks. Fortify is what Jetstream uses under the hood. So it's like the headless version of everything you just saw. Okay. So our Jetstream just creates like views for it. Is that Folio? Folio is for file-based routing and that's Folio, right? It's for file-based routing in Livewire. I was trying to remember the name. I did not prepare for this.
Oh, it's completely fine. Like I'm figuring this out as I go.
So it's just a lot. And Homestead, Horizon, Jetstream, Mix, Octane, everything is being handled for you, but you can configure everything. You can choose to not use anything. So that's what I love about Livewire. It's opinionated, but it doesn't get in your way most times when you want to do something custom. So you can just write pure SQL. You don't need to use. You can write pure SQL. You can just use the DB facade. So it's just like a wrapper for pure. It's not an ORM. It's just like a SQL wrapper, or you could use Eloquent itself.
That's kind of what I usually prefer. So like normally there's a thing in C# called Dapper, and what it lets you do is like it's just an object mapper. So you write your own SQL and then it spits out objects essentially that you can use in your code. So that's usually what I go for, but I'm willing to try the ORM too here. So
yeah, Eloquent is awesome. I think you'd like it. I mean, you can always do DB raw, but for most of my use case, I just go with Eloquent. I mean, that's why I suck at SQL.
See, I just got fed up with EF Core on the C# side. It was just way too complex, and it was like, just give me SQL. Just give me the raw database. I'll just do what I need to do. Just get out of my way. So
I don't think you'd have that problem. Okay, so let's go through the directory structure. So if you can scroll up the menu, the architecture concepts, getting started. Looking for the directory structure.
This guy.
Yeah. So the app directory is where most of your code would live, like controllers and events, and I do services and modules and notifications. So yeah, Laravel comes to notification. So all that stuff. So the app directory is where most of your code goes.
Okay.
You can click. Yeah, it explains it, so you can like click it. App directory contains like most of everything. The Bootstrap directory contains the file that bootstraps the entire framework and all that. The config directory contains all your config files. So I think that makes sense. The database directory contains your factories, your seeders,
and
your
migrations.
the migrations.
Okay.
The public directory contains your public files, so just the index.php, maybe public assets. It also contains like a symlink to like local. If you're looking like local storage, also like there is a symlink for local for like public stored public items, and like the public, there is a symlink there from storage to the public directory, so you can like store things and access it through that symlink. Or you can also use S3. The resources directory is where most of your front end goes, your CSS, JS assets. The routes directory is where your routes go. So there are typically, I think every Laravel app has the web.php for web routes, the console.php for CLI routes. Yeah, Closure-based console commands, rather. I just call it CLI routes.
Interesting.
There's also an API.php for API routes. And remember, you can configure this the way you want, because typically in most projects I ever do, we never use because we just have so much routes that we choose to group them, maybe like API v1, or you can change all this. It's not set in stone.
Okay, cool. These are just the defaults.
Yes, these are just the defaults.
Cool.
And we have the channels.php, which is for broadcasting. Oh, that was so Laravel also makes like it makes like WebSockets easy.
Interesting. Okay. So how does that work, like when you like start scaling too? Do you need to like pull in like Redis or something when you start like having multiple replicas of your server? Or does it just handle that?
Is it the WebSockets? Are we talking about WebSockets or Laravel?
Yeah. So
I mean, what some people do is that they have like a WebSocket server, and when it comes to scale, what I hear people say is, well, most people just still go with monoliths and try speeding up their application with like things like Laravel Octane, or they try making the Laravel like, okay, we have Redis for caching, and we have the database it's not on server, and we use S3, so they try making Laravel itself stateless.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we have the storage directory, and that's for like things like logs and files that you want to store in there, and other things, the like app cache, like the local cache and all that. Then the test directory. Oh yeah, we can do tests with PHP unit or test. Nice. And I haven't used test before, but I've heard that I've seen test code, and I've heard that it's really nice. I've done a lot of PHP units because that's like that's what every job I've had used.
Is that like the old guard sort of a thing? Like PHP unit is the older one?
And... I mean, Pest is built on PHP units. It's more like I don't want to lie again, but I think it's like a wrapper.
It's like an abstraction layer, sort of a thing on top of PHP.
I don't want Nuno to kill me, so I'm not going to say that. So now, the app directory is, like I said, where most of our code goes. So the docs also explains, we have the vendor directory that contains all our Composer packages.
Okay, cool. It does, out of curiosity, dumb newbie question. Does the vendor directory get committed to source control, or does that get dropped in the git ignore?
It's in the git ignore, so it's like node modules. Just think of it like the PHP node modules.
Okay, cool.
So the app directory comes with a bunch of stuff. So the broadcasting directory is for things like WebSockets and broadcasting channels. You can create broadcasting channels, and you probably not see it in the new, like they had Laravel 11 had like a major overhaul. So we tried getting rid of a bunch of default stuff, like a bunch of directories, and the directories get created by default. So like the broadcasting directory, you'll probably not see it until you run like a make channel command.
Yeah.
The console directory is also for like console commands. So you can write your own artisan command by running the make command.
Okay.
The events directory is for events. And what I like about these are like they just work together so well. So I might want to run an event. Okay, just let me give an instance. My last job, we built a food delivery app, and I want to create an event. I created an event that like notifies via WebSockets and also notifies via maybe email. And like Laravel just makes this so easy.
Nice.
You can just say, okay, dispatch this with this. Well, it gives you custom names, so sometimes I like change the names of the like dispatched events. So I'm like, okay, this goes out to the front end, this goes out as an email. Maybe if you want, you can drop the notification class in and have it even like go out to Slack and maybe anything the notification facade supports. So like Laravel notifications, you can also store it in the database, which is nice.
That sounds nice to have an abstraction over that. So
it's so good.
That's great for like orders and things that you need to know about that are coming out of your domain code.
You know what the exceptions directory is? The HTTP directory is like the directory that contains most of like the controllers and anything request related. The listeners, am I going too fast?
No. You're good.
Okay,
It makes sense.
I'm like, am I going too fast? The jobs directory contains like we have queues, or just we have queuable jobs and maybe just regular jobs.
Okay. Does it put those in the database, or are they kept in memory, or how does that work?
So like it depends on your queue. I think by default it's the database, but most of these things, maybe we'll also take a look at the env to see what you can change and maybe more config, because not everything is in the env. But you can choose a queue driver, just like how you can choose a mail driver.
Okay, gotcha.
So you can use Redis.
You could use Service Bus or SNS or whatever you want.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So the listeners directory is for, so like what Laravel likes doing is that they create like an API they create like an interface, like for the notification interface. But that interface, you can have multiple implementations of that interface, maybe like for email or even storage. We have local storage. You can also configure it to use S3, for example, or maybe like the database. You can Postgres or SQLite or some other obscure database. So that's what Laravel does for you. It's just like a unified API for all these things. You can just swap. You can just change your env, and you've changed what driver like Laravel is using.
Yeah, so you can interface with all those things kind of the same way. If you know how to use one, you know how to use most of them.
Yes. So we've got the module. Oh, sorry. The listeners directory contains event listeners. The mail directory contains mails. The models directory contains, eloquent model classes.
So that's the ORM.
Yes.
Gotcha.
The notifications directory contains notification classes. The policies directory. So Laravel also comes with like policies. Like we have authorization, authentication and authorization. So the policies helps us like you can write policy files for like controllers.
Okay.
So you can dictate who can do what, mostly with like admins and all that stuff.
So it's just like how the roles, it's basically how security roles are, how they work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can also, we have the providers directory. So the providers directory contains all of the service providers for our application. So the service providers are like Laravel's magic DI box.
Okay.
It helps you bind services in the service container, registering events, or it just like I don't know how to. It's just I don't know how to explain the service providers, but it makes sense in my head. But I really don't know how to explain them.
Is it like a pluggable, like you can plug in other services that don't fit into necessarily those areas essentially, or is
I
it?
typically use it for dependency injection, or like
Oh,
this is
okay.
dependency injection, or like registering something during boot, or
Is it like
like you use it for a bunch of stuff.
is it like where you put your business logic, or you can put
No, no,
common business logic? Okay.
no, we don't put business logic. How do I explain this? It's not something we need to worry about now.
Okay.
That's what I'll
It's a
say.
more
Yeah.
advanced topic.
I just call it my magic DI box, my dependency injection box. Then we have the rules for validation rules, uh, for like default validation rules, so you can create your own. But Laravel comes with a bunch out of the box, as usual.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think we should start from our dear route file. Maybe we'll create a new route, or let's go through the request lifecycle. Maybe
Yeah, that might be good.
it's under architectural concepts. Request lifecycle. The request starts from the index.php and in public. It starts from the index.php in public. So we have to point our servers to that file at all times. So after the index.php, the index.php calls the bootstrap like file. So it calls the if you remember the bootstrap like folder, it's for setting up like bootstrapping the framework. So, like we set up the framework.
It's like your main.js file in your like front end app, or it's your main.go file in a Go app. Like it's the entry point, essentially.
Yes. So index.php is our entry point, and then bootstraps the framework. So then we've got the kernels. So the incoming request is sent to the either HTTP or console kernel. So depending on what type of request this is. So if it's like an artisan command, it's I'm lying, sorry. Artisan commands first go through the artisan directory. Sorry, the artisan file, like I think the artisan file bootstraps. I have to check that. Most of these things I don't worry myself about, except I have something that involves that.
Mm-hmm.
Something that involves the kernel, or maybe I need to change something, or I need to add some middlewares or all that. But most of this you don't need to worry about, because this is more Laravel stuff. This is stuff that, well, I'm technically a Livewire engineer at work right now, so I can't remember most of these. That makes sense.
They're like under the hood, like implementation details that you don't have to touch, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you would touch the kernel files sometimes here and there, but yeah, it's just choosing what type of request this is. So is this a web request, or is this an HTTP request rather, or is this a console request, or is this like a broadcast request or something like that?
It depends on the different mode of transportation that the request is coming in via, right?
Yes.
Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. So
Okay.
so if it's the HTTP kernel, it gives us the CSRF token on the HTTP session, well, verifying the CSRF token rather, and giving us like the HTTP session, well, reading and writing the HTTP session. Then we get to the service providers again. So the service providers like boot and app. Like, okay, I think I can give some examples. Well, we sometimes put some things like we have the route service providers for managing our route files. One of the most important kernel bootstrapping actions is loading the service providers for your application. They are responsible for bootstrapping all of the. Okay, yes, I think that's the best way to say this. So, like, different parts of the application are being loaded through the service provider, like auth or routes or all that.
So it's like a
Yeah.
module loader, essentially. Like it's loading
Yes,
different
and
modules of the application, and not the ones you don't need.
yes, and like like dependency injection, like I said, can also happen there.
Okay.
Which is nice. So then we have routing. So routing happens. We check, okay, what route does this actually belong to? And then we, maybe after the route, we pass from the route calls a controller or an action or something, or rather, my bad, a controller, or like maybe it's a livewire route that like loads a full page livewire application, livewire component. So that's that. Then it's finished. So when the request is done, it just sends a response. And well, if you're using Octane, it doesn't get rid of the framework, or it just like maybe calls the jobs that need to finish and all that. It just does what Laravel does at the end of requests.
And cleans things up essentially, and then ships off the response.
Yes.
Okay.
So well, we don't need to do much on service providers now. Maybe we'll just jump into code.
Yeah.
That's what everyone came for.
Yep.
So we will start by creating maybe like an example, a full page livewire component.
Okay.
So we will run PHP artisan make livewire.
And colon livewire?
Yes, make colon livewire.
Like this?
And yes, and maybe put a space. And I still don't know what we are building. That's my problem. Like a to-do app?
Sure. We'll do the quintessential to-do app. Like that might as well be at least to start, right? So
okay.
So the name of this is the livewire component or the page?
We can have full page livewire components, but in this case, you can just call it to do.
Okay.
We don't really care about how we are structuring things now.
Okay.
So yeah, you can hit enter. Do you want to make this an inline? I typically do no, but you can make it inline if you want it all in one place.
What's the difference? Out of curiosity.
So livewire comes with two files. One for like the Blade file. So Blade is like our templating engine, and the livewire file. So livewire file is like a PHP file. It's a PHP class file that allows us to write like methods, or like we can write backend methods, and we can listen for events in the front end and all that. So it's for writing backend code. We mount, we render, and we can also like write methods that we can call from the front end. So or if you don't want to do that, you can also include like the HTML or the blade in the PHP file, but I prefer the separation of concern.
Okay.
So we'll just do no for now.
Okay.
Maybe. We want to create a test file.
Really? It's gonna create a test file for me.
Do you plan on writing tests?
No, not really. But that's cool.
Not today. I'm sorry, Beck. So we've created our first livewire component and it's in livewire/to-do. So you can see that it's in the views directory.
Yep.
Our views we can have Blade views and Blade components and maybe email views and all that stuff. So we can go back and include this. We can go back and include this view in our code. Maybe we'll create a new. We can create a new route in the route file.
That was in routes. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah. And web.php.
Okay.
And you can see that we have two routes actually. We have the route get the / and we have the dashboard route.
Okay.
So and you can see that we can register middleware. So we want these middlewares to run before, like we want for this route, we want the person to be authenticated, maybe if through Sanctum or like web. Sanctum is the API, so you want them to be authenticated both web and API. You want the person to what is the config Jetstream auth session? Oh, it's something with Jetstream. And then we want the person to have verified email.
Okay, so these are defining your like authorization parameters essentially.
More, I would say more like middleware. So these things run before the person can like access the route. So yeah.
So it's more than just authorization. It's anything you want to run before the request runs essentially.
Yeah, so I can like maybe attach something with a middleware to the request. You can do maybe like I want to track all page visits. I can track all page visits with, like the middlewares.
Or maybe like track like how long a page takes to load or something. Like you can.
Yeah, I think Laravel does that already.
Oh, of course. Of course it does.
Oh, you should probably install the Laravel PHP debug bar by Barry VDH. So it gives us like insight on the application. Google that and get the command maybe. The Barry VDH Laravel debug
this
bar.
Guy.
Absolute Chad.
So this one right here, with the -dev.
Yes, and that's it. You don't need to do anything from down there. Except you don't want like automatic service discovery.
Okay. So was there something I needed to pull out of that command?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool.
So we are installing. I don't know why we say require. We have Composer install is for installing from log file, while Composer require is for adding packages.
Okay. And is -dev the same as like a -dev in npm?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's done. So
you can restart the server and go check out your new debug bar.
And it's down there on the bottom.
Yep.
Cool.
So now we could, if you want to be able to do in the dashboard page, we could do that, or we could create a new route.
Let's create it like a fresh route. I think.
Let's create a new route. So we could, below the routes get dashboard. So below that, we could just copy. So we have named routes. So you can refer to a route by its name instead of like by its URL, which is nice. So you can like copy that. So route get, because we are creating a get route. Yes, you can copy that and then paste it
right below it inside the middleware section. Can I do that?
Yes. So because we want this route to only be accessible when the person is logged in.
Okay. Cool.
And that will name this as to do. So now Laravel allows us to, in place of this function, so instead of writing all our business code here, we can write, we could write in controllers, or we could pass a livewire class. So we could literally pass the to-do class. Laravel allows us to do that. Or you could, I don't know, I think that's controllers and class and livewire controllers, I think.
So you got the component-based like a method with the livewire, and then you've got like the old MVC style with the
controller,
with the class.
Yes.
Or the controller.
Yeah, you could pass a controller that literally just renders the livewire. You could just pass the livewire itself. So maybe since we're using livewire, we could just pass the livewire class.
So how do I do that?
You delete the function.
The whole function comes out, essentially.
Yeah, the entire function goes goodbye.
Okay.
And we reference the to do, so we get the class, the livewire class to do.
Okay. So I'm a noob at this, just letting you know.
Yeah, just to do.
Okay.
In caps.
So
Sorry,
it's this guy right here.
Yes.
Okay.
And you colon class to tell PHP that is a class.
So this guy.
Yes. And now we can essentially go and take a look at our to-do.
Okay.
Let's see if that works. I hope that works. Oh no. Oh yeah, we haven't specified. No, we haven't specified a layout view.
Okay.
So we can. So Livewire allows us to do this in two ways. You can specify it in the to-do itself, or you can specify one global layout.
Okay.
And the nice thing is Jetstream already comes with that layout, so we can just use the Jetstream layout for now. Could you open your views? So we're going deep diving into views. I'm looking for a layouts app.blade.php. Yeah, that is our Jetstream layout.
Okay.
I think that is our Jetstream layout.
I don't know why I don't have syntax highlighting in this one, but
it's Blade. It's Blade syntax highlighting a new vim. Well, I think there's an experimental Blade. Yeah, you gotta install it manually. It's not there.
It's not in Mason.
It's not in Mason.
But it's okay. I don't need highlighting for this.
Oh God. Yeah, it's not. Blade highlighting is one of those things that I wish NeoVim had. So we're going to. So now we have to go to the to-do class. We're going to the to-do class, and we're going to reference this file as the layout.
Okay. So this guy.
Let's do like git init and something.
Yeah. There we go. We're good now.
So we are creating a function that called layouts that tells Livewire what layout we're using.
Is it public?
Yeah, it's public.
Any parameters?
Yeah, that works.
I have Copilot on.
Make sure this works. So the dot syntax. So I should probably mention that because I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, I know that. I know what's going on. The dot syntax is for our views, or maybe even no routes. For our views, we can access a view by saying something dot something. So like Livewire is the folder, and we have a file called to do in the Livewire. So we are saying layout, or in this case, layouts is the folder, and we have something called, we have an app.blade.php, so you can say layouts.app, and it would like resolve that for us.
Okay, so you just you use the period as the delimiter and leave off the extension, essentially.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. That's an efficient way of saying it.
So component layout view not found.
Oh, God. Okay, I think we might need to. I don't know why it's searching for it in the components directory, but just for now, you can copy the layouts file into the component. You can just like make a copy of app.blade.php into the components in views.
Okay, so we're going to so this guy. So and then go to where?
And put it in components. Views, component, resources, views, components.
One more.
Components.
There we go.
And we can just paste it in here.
So what do we want to name it? It's app layout.
Layout slash. Oh, we're making a folder and put it in here. Layouts, and then app.blade, app.php, app.blade.php.
All the stuff you know in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I get that I have that all the time. And we don't need to change anything else in here?
We might need to change some things, but let's see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That should probably work. Please, Livewire gods, please.
Looks like it worked.
So we can import our to-do component. Oh wait, sorry. We don't need to do that. Livewire does that for us already. Since this is a full like this is a full page component, we can just start writing code and you'd see it in there. Are you running npm run dev? So we get the hot reloading.
So you have to run both the Laravel side and npm?
Yes, you have to run npm run dev.
Okay, so let's just start another one of these. Okay, so this is running just straight V. Is it like Vue or is it like React or just straight up HTML CSS?
Yeah, straight up Vite.
Okay, cool.
Now we get hot reloading for free.
Oh, nice.
I'm blinded by light.
Right? Like you can see I'm glowing.
So bright.
Yep.
That's true. You gotta move the dark to the top. Now you could try going to the todo.blade file and let's just put something in there and like hello world to get your first.
So in
you
here,
always get with the blade file. The master doesn't talk. So that is how comments work in Blade.
okay.
That curly dash that syntax. So you can delete that.
That's easy.
Yeah. So now you should see hello world. It's there.
Oh, it's just the wrong color. That's okay.
Let's make
there
sure
we go. It was dark reader.
Let's make sure the hot reloading works. So try changing the file and saving. Should work. Okay,
nice.
That works.
Nice. Cool.
So what kind of, are we creating a to-do in memory or are we creating a to-do in a database?
Is it hard to put it in the SQLite database that comes for free with it?
No, it's not. It's not. Eloquent would probably make that easier.
Yeah, let's do that. It's a little more real world.
Okay, so we are going to create a new migration. So everything database starts with the migration. Oh no, you run a PHP command.
I'm so used to just like, oh, I need a file. I need to write my migration, right?
So we run a PHP command.
Okay.
PHP artisan make migration, and that is how we make our files in Laravel world. It's too lazy. So we are creating a create to-dos table. And to-dos has to be plural.
Yep.
Yeah, that works. And you've gotten your to-dos table.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Now let's run PHP. We should have just run the combo. We could have run PHP make, but I don't want to add that much files for now, and I don't want to. So we can also make the model.
Okay.
Or we have a faster approach in Laravel world, which I should have mentioned earlier, where you can just create a model and it creates a migration for you.
Oh.
So you can make model and it creates a bunch of, you can do make model and then do to-do in capital. To-do
like
in
that?
capital. Yes, that works. You can also add any of these. Like we've created a migration already. You can create a form request. I think we'll need that.
Okay. Oh no!
No, no. It's fine. You can always create it manually. So,
I hit enter
now
into the space.
Yeah. So now we are going to add stuff to our migrations.
It should just be like a name and like a checked. This should be like 2 fields, I think.
Yeah, that works.
Which one?
The last one. So it's time. Those are the dates that the migration was created.
Okay.
And so that one. And now in our migration files, you see that we have a schema builder that allows us to add different column types to our database, and we have an up and down. So the down is for when you're trying to reverse the migration, and the up is for when you're running the migration.
Gotcha.
So we've got IDs and timestamps by default.
Okay.
You could add a table. I'd put it before the timestamp It's a method.
It's a convention sort of a thing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So this should be a string, and this should just be title, right?
Yes.
And then
You can do Copilot. Spoiling the fun, Copilot.
it's giving it away. Like I really should have it off right now. I might even disable it here. Copilot disable, because it's spoiling it. So
Well, the schema builder has a bunch of stuff, even some stuff I didn't know it had, like location, but you can add points, location points, which is weird.
Oh, like GIS locations?
Yeah, you can add points. It's a lot.
Oh, JSON.
Yeah, JSON.
Cool.
A bunch of JSON. We typically store arrays as JSON, and we have this thing called accessors and mutators. So Laravel helps you automatically turn the JSON into an array each time you access it, which is nice.
Nice. And you could probably get the same effect with like native, like Postgres or something.
Yeah. Laravel, I don't know how Laravel does it, but they do it. I think they just call like array to JSON, array to JSON. No, sorry, JSON to array. Is it JSON decode? I think that's what it's called in PHP. I used this yesterday. I don't learn the names of methods. I just wait for my IDE to pop them up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we're going to run the migration.
Okay.
And artisan migrate. And now we have our to-do table. So we can let's create a form.
Okay.
For the to-dos. We're using Livewire. So we're going back to the to-do. Do you have Harpoon? Because
I do.
You might need Harpoon for this.
Are we going to the blade or the PHP?
We're going to go back and forth between both. That's why I'm asking for Harpoon.
Okay. So let's add this one to Harpoon, to do blade. Add this one. They're both in Harpoon now.
All right. So we'll first create the input form. Maybe that's just.
Is it like a standard form?
Yeah, it's a standard form.
Okay.
Just regular HTML for the form and the input.
Is there an action or anything here?
We'll leave that empty for now.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
And then input.
We'll just say text.
Or we could use the inputs that Jetstream gives us.
Okay.
So I think, if I can remember, it's probably X input. So Blade component, we have components in Blade. So we have regular views and then we have components. So that's why Laravel was complaining when we didn't put it inside the components, because Livewire is looking for a component as the layout.
Okay.
So we have our components are referenced with X dash, so X dash something. So and yes, which it's input because I think Jetstream gives us input. So we can do X dash input and see if that works.
So type should be text, right?
Yes.
Then we can just see if that works in theory.
Yes, let's see if that works.
And there's a text input. Look at that. Cool.
So we could probably center this using like Tailwind because Jetstream comes with Tailwind by default.
Okay. Okay, so the style
class. Oh, sorry.
Class.
I thought you were using Tailwind.
Class. We can do Tailwind. I'm just not a Tailwind expert, so I'll defer to your expertise.
We could do my favorite MX Auto, and then with MX Auto MY. Oh, and I think Tailwind comes with container. I've never really, I really don't know what that does, but let's try container first. Let's see.
So, do you want MX Auto in there too?
No, let's try container. Just container first. I'm sorry, YouTube. I suck at CSS, but I built a UI framework. Also, Twitch.
I suck at CSS too, so I won't notice. So.
No, that doesn't work. So that's a ShadCN thing.
Okay.
So we're gonna do our MX Auto with 70. No, W70. Oh, sorry. You don't know Tailwind. Oh no.
Nope.
Like W dash 3/2 maybe. Oh geez.
W dash.
Like wait, sorry. I'm trying to just put the like brackets, like regular brackets. Yeah, like regular brackets.
Like that?
Yeah. We use SCSS at work.
Okay.
Oh no, like the dash still stays. The dash stays.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, cool.
And like 70%. So this is a Tailwind. You can specify arbitrary values with Tailwind.
Interesting.
So we get it centered.
Okay.
We probably get it
perfect
more centered. And then we can just add some giant margin, or we could have just used flex. Jeez.
I could have, or grid. I could have done that too, but whatever. Honestly, I can live with this. This is fine.
Okay. So we could just put some margin, like MY, like 32 maybe. MY 32 something.
Okay.
Yeah. This isn't industry CSS, but it works.
This is demo code.
So now the Livewire magic happens with you can call, or you can, well, we can do this multiple ways. We can do this like on submit of a button. We are adding a to do now. We'll probably have to press enter. So we would just do this. We wouldn't use a button. We'll just use on change. How do we do the enter thing? We can use wire click. I can't remember. Sorry.
We could just use a submit button if that's easiest.
Yeah, I was trying to make it fancy, but I typically would, because I'm someone that I tend to use, like, because Alpine and Livewire ships together. So I tend to use Alpine instead of Live. Like, it's the same thing sometimes. So I tend to use Alpine more than Livewire, but it's the same. But we are doing Livewire here for now. So let's use Alpine. So like, let's make things chaotic a bit. So we could do, okay, no, let's just use Livewire. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Because we got to call something. We got to call like a backend method that we're about to write. So we'll write an add method in the Livewire file, and we'll call the add method from here. So maybe we'll do wire.submit. Maybe we can do wire. Oh, no, not there. Like, we'll just use a button for now.
Okay.
In form, wire submit. No, in form, we'll do wire submit. Oh, no, like in the form, in the... I'm sorry, I keep forgetting you don't know, like...
I'm new.
In the form, you can, like, space, then wire submit.
Oh, up here?
Yeah.
Like this?
No, colon. Wire submit and equal to maybe add to do.
Parentheses?
Yes. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, no parentheses. I don't think we need those. Do we need those? I'm not sure.
They might be optional if they're like JavaScript submit stuff.
So now we can create a button like the same thing, X button, because Jetstream ships with that X button, just like regular HTML button.
Okay.
And then close like a regular HTML button, and maybe put submit in there. I don't know. You typically have to look at their implementation or like look at how they use it, but I think this is how most people would do it.
Yeah.
So let's see if that. Let's see if we get the button at least. Okay, we do
Ooh,
get
it
the
looks
button.
nice even. Oh, and of
No,
course
we haven't written that yet.
it's okay. I can get back.
So so we are going to write the add to do.
Okay.
We'll just write the add to do with like the let's write the add to do for now.
Where's that gonna go?
In the livewire, oh geez, in the livewire PHP file. So it's like you see how we can write. We are writing both. We are writing both front end code and we are writing back end code from the back end code that runs in the back end.
Okay.
So we are going to the PHP to do app, to do file. So the other Harpoon file, yes, this one, and we are going to create a method called add to do.
Okay.
And we are going to say, so now this is where we introduce, oh geez, we are meant to get the, so now this is, we have to do something called, oh, okay, I see why I was like confused at some point. We have to bind the input, like the title, we have to bind it to a property in the backend. Well, you can do this multiple ways, but this is how I'll do this for now. We have to bind, so we'll create a new public. Everything that we want to expose to the front end is public, while private is not going to be exposed to the front end.
Okay.
So we'll create a public string called title at the top.
I like to put that up there. Yeah.
Yeah, on the top, we'll create a public string called title.
Okay.
And then we colon. We can do this. We forgot the $sign.
Oh my gosh. I'm in PHP. Okay.
Sorry, I just want to verify something about Livewire before. I don't know why I'm forgetting this. Just looking at the wire submit said, okay, yes, this is the way they do it. Okay. So we have the public string variable title, and now we are going to create a to-do using the title. So we're in the add to-do down there in the add to-do. We are going to we're going to say to-do capital letter, not the class at this time, but oh no, we have name conflicts, but that would the LSP will help us handle that. To do the model version this time, yours doesn't say it.
It didn't. Yeah.
We need the to do from. We need it to do from the model to do. So maybe you can call it model to do. But you have to you can't just do that. No, that doesn't work. You have to import the to do class, but import it with an alias.
Okay.
So maybe use app / model / to do. Did we not create that? I thought you didn't create that. I don't think it got created.
So it should be like that, right?
Yes, should be like that.
LFC's gonna get angry. How do you do an alias?
As. Use that as. Maybe add model to do, or to do model. Model to do, or to do model. Anyone works.
I like that. Okay, and then
that works. So now we will call the model to do.
I assume we need to go make that model now, right?
I thought we already made the model with PHP artisan make model.
Would it where would it be again?
The app. So the first one.
App models to do.
Yeah, we did.
I wonder if it's LSP restart.
What PHP LSP do you use?
This is IntelliFence.
I typically use Rector, but it's not like there was any crazy difference. Rector works really well for me, but yeah, that works.
I can switch too. I could restart NeoVim and switch real quick.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
I just picked the top one out of the list in Mason.
So now we're going to say model to do.
Okay.
Model to do.
Okay.
And then colon, and we're going to we want to add it to the database, so we'll say create.
Okay.
And then pass an array.
Okay.
With title, this title.
So
does that make sense?
Title.
This title.
And then it's an associative array like this, right?
You have to use equals to that.
Equal like this or equal like this?
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. Title.
Because the other syntax was PHP's version of objects.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have to put the angle brackets after the equal.
Okay. I thought there was an arrow there.
Yeah. And then your semicolon.
Yep.
So now, what do you mean? Well,
is it this? Do I have to say this?
Yeah, we have to do this dot title. This dash. Oh, geez. No, you have to. In the variable goes before the this. So the variable this, then dash the weird PHP syntax thingy.
Oh boy. Okay, walk me through it slowly.
Variable and this. After the dollar sign is this. Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Here. So I'm just gonna leave it in insert, and then
dollar sign this. I typically say variable as dollar sign this.
Oh,
then not dot. We don't do dots. We don't do dots here.
No.
Dash and title. Yes, that.
So you don't need the dollar sign after the accessor?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I know it's weird. What is on the model to do? Oh yeah, you need to change it to do model. So weird that typically when I do this, oh no, this is create, so it should work. But sometimes NeoVim starts screaming, "Hey, we can't find this method."
No, it likes it right now. So
yeah, it's when we get into like the selecting that you'd see a bunch of that. So now we've written the create. So what we'll do after this is we don't want the title to still stay the same, so we can like reset the title. So
can I just
you can do that, or you can just call like reset, but it's the same thing.
Reset. So there's
like a variable this reset. I'll keep saying that.
This guy.
And you can pass in title. I think you can just pass it as a string if I remember correctly.
Properties.
Should be a string.
Like this?
Yes. So we're resetting the title after we create the model.
That's a little more explicit. So okay.
So now we've written the method to add to the to-dos. Now I think that should work. We might get something about you can't do mass assignment, but let's see if that works.
Okay. I'm gonna restart or refresh just for fun. Submit.
To do title must not. Oh darn it.
So do we?
Oh yeah, we haven't bound it to in the front end. Gotcha. So now we have to bind it to what the value of the input. So in the blade file, we will say wire. We will say wire in the input. Sorry, we'll say wire model. So it's just like we're doing two-way binding. is equal to title, since that is, so we are binding it to a public property in there in the like PHP file. So this allows us to write backend and front-end code at like simultaneously.
Okay.
So now if we try this, I mean, we might still get that same error, but I think that should work. Okay, now, yes, this is what I was saying. We'll probably get mass assignment error. So we have to go. So Laravel does this thing where you have to either explicitly say you want this, you want to be able to edit, like in this create, you want to be able to edit this column, like in a create, or like, how do I explain this? You can't do anything to the model without putting it, like without, like just imagine like passwords, for example, accidentally updating the passwords. So Laravel protects against that by, you can't, as long as it's not in the fillable array, or as long as you don't, like if you set an empty guarded, well, let's just go to the code. I'll show you what I mean. Does that make any sense? So if you go to model to do, sorry. We just call it to do. We usually just call it to do. So now we can create a new fillable array. So that is the columns that Laravel would allow us to update. So we can say public after the use factory. So we can say public variable fillable. So the $ fillable is equal to, and then we'll put the name of our column that we want to be able to update inside title. So that.
Like that?
Yes, and that should work now.
Okay.
In the front end. And that worked.
It's in our database.
So now we need to figure out how to display all the to-dos. So in our Blade file, or rather, we need to like create the collection. And I've seen some people say, "Oh yeah, don't do that." But just for now, we'll just get. So we have collections in Laravel, obviously. So we can query the database using the Eloquent ORM, and then save that to a collection that Livewire would help us pass to the front end. So if we go to the to-dos PHP file, and we can create a new variable to store that collection called public string to-do, public to-dos. Let's not put the type yet. Public to-dos.
Okay.
And we would create a mount method. So mount is just like, because this is a Livewire component and Livewire does things, we can't use the constructor in this class. So we have to use a mount method. So I typically put that at the top.
Above render?
Yeah, just think of it as I typically put render at the bottom and mount at the top. So mount is like our constructor.
It's the Laravel constructor, essentially.
No, actually just Livewire. It's just
Livewire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we are going to set this to-dos. So I'm setting this. You have to do this. Like, yeah. Okay. And we are setting it to, we're going to create a new we're going to like query with using Eloquent. So model, to-do model rather, to-do model. And now, and colon, we're going to say all, actually, just all.
Yeah, we don't need to filter or anything.
No filtering necessary.
Okay.
And in the Blade, we can loop through these to-dos and print them all. We can print the title of each to-do. So, don't you want to do that below? Or do you want to do that above?
I'm going to do it above. So ULs, and then how do you loop?
So we use Blade has our at directive, so at for each.
Okay.
Yes. So your parenthesis.
Okay.
And then the name of the. We don't need this in the Laravel in the Blade file.
Okay.
So we'll say to do's as to do. To do's as to do.
It's backwards. Like this?
Is that how we do this? Or am I thinking of a different language? We'll find out soon. Yeah. And then you go down and say at end for each, so that we end for each, at end for each.
Okay.
And now we can print the to do. Now to print we do what's that? The curly braces twice. Yes.
Like this?
Not
dot. Not dot. I gotta get that out of my head.
I know it's a nightmare switching from class Java to PHP every day. It's
C#
a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I like my C#. I like the dot, and Go does the dot too.
I like the dot too, but that's something that pisses me off. Dot is concatenation in PHP for some reason.
Oh, I think double dot in Lua is concatenation too. I was like, I would have never guessed that. Like, that's not intuitive at all.
Oh, you get used to it when you write a lot of PHP.
Yeah.
So let's see if that works.
Okay.
Probably what reload.
Test.
Hey,
Okay. So now, does it?
Yeah, it's going into.
Is it?
Wait, what? It didn't
It doesn't refresh.
It doesn't refresh. That. Oh yeah, makes sense. We didn't update any public. We didn't update any variable in Livewire.
I think I know. No.
You can't do it in the mounter. You have to do it in add to do. So
yes.
you gotta refetch.
So okay. So after reset, we should. Let me think of. I might be able to do this. This. To do's gets to do. We can just grab the last one, right?
Yep.
That way we get exactly what's in the database.
Yep.
Okay.
Now that should work now.
Oh, that's sweet. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Okay, the last thing I'd like to do for tonight, can we remove them?
Yes, we can. You just gotta create your remove button.
Okay, so if I'm gonna start here. Public function remove to do. Okay, can I take a parameter in here?
Yes, man.
So that's gonna be an ID, right?
Yeah, you can do IDs. Yeah, that's how I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, what am I saying? That's like the only way to do it.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know how else to do it. So then to do model. This is a test of how intuitive this is. Delete. Remove. No.
It's delete.
Deleted.
I don't know why. I have no idea why it's saying deleted. It's probably delete. Should
Okay.
be delete.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, you just pass the ID in.
Okay, and then I should be able to this to-dos.
I don't think you need. Okay, yeah. Refetching it. To do model or.
Okay.
So now we have this thing in. I'm not. Is that the right? I think it's delete. Am I being gaslit into something? I write this every day. It's delete.
Delete
Why
it.
am I don't think it's deleted. It should be delete.
Registers a deleted model event with the dispatcher.
Oh, okay. No, we can't just do that. Yeah, I remember. Jesus. You can't just do that.
I can't just delete things.
You have to first of all fetch the model and then delete it.
Okay. Interesting.
So we have to find and delete.
Oh, I have to grab the record back, and there's a delete method on top of that record.
You could just use destroy. I'm just literally finding out we had a destroy method.
Okay. Destroy.
That works.
Oh, it takes an array, int, or string. Okay, cool. Okay. Now
and then,
we need to go to the blade file, right?
Yes. We need to create a form for each li.
Do we have? We do. Okay. How do I want to do this? Just for cleanliness sake, I think I have to do this. And they have to be in a form?
Yes, so we just like the same thing, wire submit and to. I mean, you can call it in multiple ways, but this is how I'll do it for now. You can call it in many ways.
Okay.
And remember, we have to pass the ID.
Yeah. So this would be to do dot or not dot ID.
Yes. Now this works because to do but at this you're just writing plain HTML right now. You have to like render the to do ID using the
like this
curly braces. Yes.
Okay.
Now, if this was a string, you'd have to put like, because this is like front end and back end code. Mm-hmm. This is going to get rendered to HTML, and it's to get rendered to remove to do and then the ID. So you have to put like the apostrophe, like the quotes.
The quotes.
Does that make sense? So like sometimes you have to put like
Gotcha. Like this? Well,
yes, something like that. If it was a string.
Okay.
I know.
Is it an int by default?
I mean, ID is an int, so yes.
Okay. But that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Form, and then we could say, so this is just X button delete. I can't type anymore. It's getting late. Okay. What am I missing? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay. And each one now has a terribly formatted delete method. And it deletes them. And they stay gone. So ideally, I'd change that to a span, move it to the side, make it like a red X or something. But for concept wise, this is working. Sweet.
That is Laravel.
Sweet. I don't need a front end framework. Why would I need Vue or Svelte or anything?
I mean, it depends on what you're building. Where I work, we are pushing Livewire to its absolute limit.
It's a little more than CRUD apps.
We've abused Livewire. I would say it depends on what you want to do.
That makes sense.
Oh, there is sometimes where Livewire can't just figure out how to dump diff, or like it can't just figure out the components. So there are like tips and tricks that you follow to fix that.
Yeah.
And now it's like it has gotten into, it's like second nature to me now. It's like, oh, I know how to fix this.
Yep. It's all part of the learning curve, but this is really cool. I like this a lot. So yeah. I'm gonna I'm
We
gonna
haven't even gone into what like Laravel can do.
Oh,
Like,
I know. This is like
Laravel.
basics. Like this is like baby's Laravel. I know. But no, I think I do have to get to bed, but I
Right?
really really do appreciate this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do this some other time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like once I get my feet under me and maybe hopefully some blade formatting or something in the editor.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to plug? I'm probably going to turn this into a YouTube video. Do you have anything you want to plug in the end of the YouTube video or anywhere
I have
people?
a UI library.
You do. Artisan UI.
And we push that so we'll stop making terrible format. This really helps.
Shadcn for Laravel, is that the tagline basically?
Yes, that is the tagline. It's a Shadcn, but for Laravel. I've spent so much time writing JS. I spent so much time writing JS, and I've written a lot of. I think this project is more JS than Blade or PHP, just so that I like give everyone like a dependency less. I only have one dependency, which is date FNS for all those components. So if
That's pretty good.
You can go to the oh geez, it was a nightmare.
So, but it's xaui.com.
Yeah, the AUI stands for Artisan UI, and the X is like the Blade X dash input.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Got a calendar, people.
Oh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need this in one of my other apps at work that's not PHP.
It uses Livewire. I mean, I can give you the Alpine code, but not much you can do with that.
It won't work without PHP.
No, it would. I mean, it has like a JS, like it has JS. Which the JS files, and then we have PHP. So it's more of JS than the PHP is just calling the JS. Like we're just like the PHP is just to make it a component. All the JS is doing the actual work. This calendar was a nightmare.
Calendars are like they just
jeez.
Like date spans, like just dates and times in general are a nightmare. So
I was trying to like almost feature match the React day picker from Shadcn uses. So like it's a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is crazy cool.
We also have like the drop down menu and the sheets and all that stuff.
Oh, the animation, I like it.
The sheets and the dialogues and the tabs, and I'm trying to make it accessible.
This is cool. This is neat. I like it.
Yeah. So just a bit of self-promotion here and there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The tabs. I don't know why my favorite is the sheet. It's like
sheet.
Yeah, for some reason I'm like,
oh, I love that.
The sheet is my favorite because it's like I built that and there was like, oh god, I need to put a sheet for like the side menu. It's like, hey, I got a dialogue already.
I might have to steal some of the back-end code here and do this in Go in another project I'm working on, because that's a really nice UX. So
yeah, you could definitely write it. You could definitely take the PHP and like take the JavaScript and convert it into Go. It's just that it's not fully accessible yet. So I think if I remember correctly, I think the dialogue is accessible now. I don't know how to test that properly. And the accordion, alert, I haven't done calendars yet because, well, it's a calendar.
Yep.
And like almost everything except I think tabs too. Date picker is a button with the calendar. Yeah. So,
but no, this looks awesome. I like it. So I'm gonna probably, if I'm building more with PHP, which I think I'm going to after this, I'm gonna definitely probably use this to get off the ground a lot faster. So this is cool. So thank you again very much for suffering through my noobish ways as I'm trying to learn this, but I appreciate it a lot, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
All right. Goodbye.
Yeah.